Alexander, for all of us here at NBC News, we hope you have a great night.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. Could charges filed against a murder defendant accused in killing an Army veteran be dismissed? Prosecutors now moving in that direction for defendant Brandon Chandler. Plus, the governor's set to deliver her State of the Island address. The community shares how they feel the island is doing months after being hit by Typhoon Mawar. And the U.S. Department of Labor recently recovered $52,000 in tips, unpaid wages, and damages from 2 Saipan restaurants. Tomas Manglotnia with that report. Half a day and buenas noches. Bienvenido para KUAM News Primetime. Guahu Scenic Delgado.
Sa Guahu si Destiny Cruz. Sizo es maasi puri mañana mitu guini na programa Biba Guam History and Chamorro Heritage Day. Well, prosecutors are calling for the dismissal of charges against one of the defendants accused in killing an Army veteran. Defendant Brandon Chandler appearing before Judge Maria Senzon in Superior Court. He, along with 4 others, stand accused in the brutal killing of Jason Susuiko. Susuiko's body was found badly decomposed in a jungle area off Route 15 in Jigo in January 2023. The prosecuting attorney telling the court they plan to request that charges filed against Chandler be dismissed without prejudice. Defense opposed it. It was also said in court that Chandler could be released from prison.
A man who admitted to using Bitcoin to buy drugs online and get it mailed to Guam expected to learn his fate in federal court. Gavin Domingo Alumarang has since pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute 50 or more grams of methamphetamine hydrochloride. He faces at least 10 years in prison. Alumarang, who will be sentenced this Wednesday before Chief Judge Francis Tedinko Gatewood in the District Court of Guam.
The case involved luxury brand name bags, cars, cash, high-end jewelry, guns, meth, and cocaine, among other drugs. The feds uncovered that Alumarang and several others would smuggle drugs to the island that they brought from multiple countries to sell in Guam between 2019 and 2022. Others accused in the drug scheme have not yet been charged. What is the state of the island? The economy was a highlight in Governor Lulian Guerrero's annual address last year.
But that was also prior to Typhoon Mawar, which devastated our island. Tonight, the community shares how they think Guam is doing.
Less than half a day.
The governor will stand before the public, going down a list of accomplishments and goals over the past year. No doubt recovery in the aftermath of Typhoon Mawar is expected to be a part of her address. It's her 6th address. While the governor's office traditionally waits until moments before she takes the stage to release an embargoed copy of her speech, residents in Guam already have a good idea of what state the island is in. So what do you think the state of Guam is today?
Still recovering. That's all I gotta say. Still recovering.
What do you think will get us out of it?
Time and more finances put on other things, certain things. Yeah.
Priorities.
Yes, priorities.
I think after Mawar, we're getting back. You know, slowly we're getting our economy back. Tourism is coming back. We opened a new Japan route. So as a small business owner, I see it coming back.
It needs to be better. Yeah.
Why?
Just because of everything that's going on.
It's pretty expensive. You know, back then in 69, 70, the gas price, I can go with 25 cents, buy a gallon, and still got change. And then today, you know, $20 is equivalent to $2, you know, just buying chips and drink in comparison to back then. And so the economy is hurting the poor people here. And that's what any elected candidates or official should be more concerned on, is the economy, because, you know, it's hurting us. Yes, we got the Quest card and all of that, but if you don't qualify, you hurt more. Yeah. You know, and I think the Coast Guard, they should make it a drug test. You know, I want the elected officials to make that into law and say, look, you know, you got Coast Guard, you need to go get a drug test because people are taking advantage of it. And, you know, we got people that are paying taxes and all of that stuff and still trying to make ends meet. Yeah. So that's the state of the island right now. Is the economy is really making the people of Guam suffer. Not only the Chamorros, but the people of Guam.
As missionaries, we feel like it's a great place to be. We see that there are struggles, but the people of the islands are so kind that we've learned a lot from them. So just, you know, there are those that are struggling, the ones that are unseen, that need to be seen.
Well, I think it's getting really good as far as making up for the deficits we've had in the past, getting a lot of new projects going. We're pretty happy with the way it's going.
Recently, Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio spoke before the Guam Chamber of Commerce, giving an idea of what the governor may include in her speech. Tenorio saying GovGuam is in a stable financial position, adding the administration has worked to establish investor confidence and fiscal stability.
Governor Lulian Guerrero will give her State of the Island address tomorrow night from Hagatna. Speaker Therese Terlahi will call senators into session at the Guam Congress Building at 5:30 p.m.
Then the governor is set to take the stage at 6:30 p.m. inside the Speaker Antonio R. Mpinko Legislative Session Hall. The State of the Island address will air following KUAM News Primetime tomorrow. KUAM will live stream the address in partnership with PBS Guam. There's an eyesore that can become a hot spot for trouble: derelict and abandoned buildings.
Public Works is ramping up efforts to clean up these safety and health hazard. Masuki Hirayama has the details.
The Department of Public Works is ramping up efforts to clear out derelict buildings that have not responded to citations and notices of violations. DPW Director Vince Areola telling the Island-wide Beautification Task Force during a recent meeting that the agency will take action soon on 2 buildings: the former Ratty's Fabric Shop in Anigua and the old Sherwood Resort in Tumon.
We've noticed them for the condition of their building. And so the actual increase in ramping up for their violation is the law allows DPW to basically do what it needs to do. In other words, fence the property off if need be, board up the building if need be, clean it up if need be, and actually put a lien onto the building for whatever expenses we may do.
The agency looking to ensure the public safety, even if that means cleaning up the buildings themselves, at least within the parameters of Guam law.
We're just putting the paperwork together to make sure that we do our diligence and we do this all legally before we set foot on the property. But clearly, especially on the Roddy's building, it's been a residence for homeless folks on and off. It's also become a health hazard.
A health and safety hazard to the community, which often becomes a hotspot for trouble.
I've spoken with the owner of the home directly behind that building, and she's had so many complaints there. So I think we're at the stage now where we ramp up our efforts past the notice of violation.
Areola notes there are a lot of derelict buildings on Guam. Part of the reason is when original owners have passed on and the property becomes stuck in probate.
So nobody wants to move on it, or nobody can move on it. But that's beside the point. You know, we have a building that's unhealthy, that's dirty. It's not acceptable within the neighborhood. So if we have to go in there and fence it up and board it up and clean it up, then that's what we'll do.
He also recently identified a couple buildings along Route 16 that look to be abandoned. Inspectors will be checking those out in the coming days. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
The U.S. Department of Labor recently recovered $52,000 in tips, unpaid wages, and damages from 2 Saipan restaurants.
As Tomas Mangualtnio reports, it's also a cautionary tale for employers.
The U.S. Department of Labor recovered $52,000 in tips, unpaid wages, and damages after an investigation into Mura Ichiban Restaurant and Namdae Moon Restaurant on Saipan. Terrence Trotter is the U.S. Department of Labor's District Director for Pacific Island Communities.
Just like there's standards for the food that the customers expect to eat in a restaurant, there's standards for the people that serve the food. And we want to make sure that people get their entitlement to at least their baseline minimum wage, overtime when worked, and they get to retain the tips. And in this particular case, we found that tips left on credit cards were not dispersed to the workers. There were some other issues as it relates to delayed payment, which led to the non-payment of minimum wages and overtime to some workers. But the consistent violation that occurred across both establishments was the retention of tips.
The back wages recovered were $12,316 in withheld credit card tips for 10 employees, over $11,000 in unpaid minimum wage for 6 employees, close to $3,000 in unpaid overtime for 6 employees, and over $26,000 in liquidated damages for 13 employees, and $1,500 in civil money penalties.
If you are reading this release or you're viewing this program, and you are an employee and the employer is retaining your tips or a portion of your tips, you can contact the U.S. Department of Labor. If you're an employer and you want to change your practice because you had previously been retaining tips, especially tips on credit cards, for example, it's an opportunity to change your practices. So yes, we are in the community, we are visiting with employers, and we are collecting back wages.
Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Thanks, Tomas. Time for a quick break, but keep it here.
You're watching KUAM, your leader in local news.
Troy Polamalu Safety, a.k.a. the Quiet Storm. Troy's seen more out of the corners of his cold steel eyes than most mortal men have seen straight on. The last thing an offense would witness, a fury of flowing mane, incoming at high speed.
Hey!
Cat-like quickness and supernatural instincts like Troy's only come once in a lifetime. And oh, how grateful we are that they came in ours. No one made the beloved burg of Pittsburgh feel quite as safe as this safety. The Hyundai Tucson with advanced safety and tech, because even safeties could use a little more safety themselves.
Looks like it's prime time, huh?
Dr. Garcia?
Crest Reality Checkup.
That grimy film on your teeth is actually the buildup of plaque bacteria, which can cause cavities in months. And your toothpaste just isn't cutting it.
Most toothpaste quit working in minutes, but the antibacterial fluoride in Crest Pro Health protects for up to 12 hours.
So I can stop cavities before they start.
Can I get a latte?
The #1 toothpaste brand in America, Crest.
Unlock your brightest smile with Crest. Available now at Payless.
Welcome back to Primetime. Meet the architects behind one of the iconic Character Day huts, constructed without a single power tool.
KUAM speaking with the members of UOG's Pohnpei student organization ahead of the festivities.
It's the sights and sounds of culture living and breathing. From manually skinning Tengan wood to weaving coconut leaves, these students, part of the University of Guam's Pohnpei organization, are building a traditional cooking hut for UOG's Charter Day. Their work reflecting a deep connection to island wisdom. Dasan Ifamilik is the organization's president.
Bring the trees, cut this branch, make sure it's the right measurement. So we basically learn from our childhood growing up, and not just from our parents, but also from our community. They would come together and help with the huts.
It's a unifying process that has over 50 student members actively practicing their culture, like Pohnpei Student Organization member and UOG Student Government Representative Ivan Blanco.
Our hut is directly facing the ocean, and that's also a symbolization of us connecting with our ancestors and there are just so many ways of us describing our Pohnpeian culture, and we look forward to Charter Day and explaining the different assets of our beautiful hut.
And in an ever-changing and modern world, these young Tritons, including treasurer of the Pohnpei organization, Alicia Leben, are proudly holding on to their rich heritage in more ways than one.
I would say the way I would hold on to this culture is by wearing the traditional skirts, which is what I have on. It's a very good representative of where I'm from, and it shows how humbling it is to grow up from where I'm from.
UOG's Charter Day celebrations kick off on March 7th. For the full schedule, head to KUAM.com.
March is Women's History Month, and every Monday during the month, we are shining the spotlight on women in different industries.
We kick off Herstory with a look at some incredible women in the field of education.
Hello, my name is Pulani Pareto. I am 21 years old, and I do teach at the Chief Harao Nanny Academy.
Hafade, my name is Dolores Martinez Santos. I am 28 years old. I'm a special education teacher. I teach at Orla Chalampago Elementary School, and I've been teaching for 6 years, so still a baby.
My name is Colette Beausoleil, and I am a science teacher at John F. Kennedy High School. I teach physics honors, I teach robotics and pre-engineering, and I've been with Guam Department of Education for 35 years. This is my 35th year.
I've actually always known I kind of wanted to be a teacher from like the very first day of pre-K. I think that's what they call it now, K4 back in the day. I loved my teacher. I loved being in school. I thought she was like the coolest person, and I just knew I wanted to be her. And I think it also helps that I've come from a family of educators. My late Nana was an educator all her life, my papa as well. So it kind of was just like an innate thing that, well, she's gonna be a teacher. So it's kind of always been a thing.
So my dad, Joseph Blas Pareto, he actually inspired me to be a Chamorro teacher because he was one himself. So he passed down his language, his culture down to me.
My teaching style emanates from my own curiosity. I'm a very curious person, and my classroom really reflects that. I know that students come to school when they're very young and they're very curious, and then throughout the course of the schooling, sometimes that curiosity drops off, and I really see it as my job to get them reignited again, as it be, to see what they are capable of doing. And so I really set up learning experiences that enable the students to be the best version of themselves that they can be at this point, so they see their possibilities as adults in the future.
I would describe my teaching style as very lively, energetic, lots of interactive activities happen in my classroom. I love giving the kids opportunities to work together, work on life skills, work together to problem solve. So lots of manipulating things, hands-on activities, gives them opportunities to work together like how they would in everyday life.
So my dad always used to tell me this when I was younger: if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
My mom growing up would always say, Dolores, just let go and let God, along with trusting in God's timing and your plan for your life. You know, it's a very me thing to want to control every single thing. I think that's part of being a teacher too. So just learning to realize that you are where you are, you're supposed to be where you are, and learning to stop stressing out and just let it happen and keep doing you, and you're gonna be where you're gonna be along the way. So just learning to let go, let God.
You know, I have several, right, that I've used. One of them is from Yoda, and it's do or do not, there is no try. And I mean that in the sense that it's best to do something, and even if you fail, you've learned. And so if you never try, then that eliminates a chance to learn. And so do or do not, and don't worry about the failure, all right? So I think Yoda is a really good one.
So I actually have two. One is written by my dad, Joe Pareto, called Hagu Islang Guahan, and the other is called Bulag Winaiza by Jesse Bias.
I am a Beyonce girl through and through. So if I'm not listening to worship music, I'm listening to Beyonce. So right now, Heated by Beyonce is like my hype song. I love Heated, so if you don't know, now you know.
For me, it means to be a strong, confident, filled with lots of passion and love.
To me, being a woman means resiliency. It means strength. It means whatever life has to throw at you, you're gonna handle that with grace and poise. Being a woman also is remembering that you are an example to all of the Femalawan who are coming after you and who are watching you and that you're leading by example. And just remembering that you can be as Judas and as fearless as you want to be, no matter what social media is telling you to be, and really staying true to who you are, to your core, and who you were raised to be, and not what anybody else wants you to be.
The Marine Lab at the University of Guam has recently achieved significant recognition, earning designation as a nationally acclaimed coral reef research center. The prestigious status by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration underscores the lab's capacity to generate highly competitive and produce research initiatives in Guam and the Micronesia region, according to Dr. Lori Raimundo, the director of UOG Marine Lab.
This noteworthy accolade not only highlights the lab's commitment to excellence, but also unlocks opportunities for stewardship partnerships. It also positions the lab to seek additional grants dedicated to coral conservation efforts. With this newfound distinction, the Marine Lab now eligible to pursue the next level distinction as a Pacific Reef Research Coordination Institute.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view captured from the cliffside at Adelaide.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Try new McDonald's sauce now.
Now?
Huh? The race to McDonald's is on!
I will win!
Welcome!
I guess we both win.
Try new savory chili McDonald's sauce, only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, go!
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa. Count on me, count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Half a day. My name is Kiara Diego, a senior at George Washington High School.
And I'm Jada Adavibar, a senior at St. John's School.
And we have a very special story about how a pandemic can bring out success for some.
Today, we bring you a story of how a local man from the southern part of Guam rises from the downfalls of a pandemic.
Half a Day Spark Ambassadors, Kiara Jade, and KUAM. My name is Dom Sablon, founder and CEO of Clutch Guam.
When was Clutch Guam established?
Clutch Guam was officially established in June of 2020, right in the midst of the pandemic, and we were just real fortunate enough to create a platform during that time. It was a time where sports was at a standstill, and we just wanted to keep the sports community involved and keep the conversation going about Guam sports.
What is the main purpose of Clutch Guam?
Our vision from day one has always been to give athletes a creative platform where they can showcase their skills, their talents, their triumphs, their failures even. And in this new age of digital media, we felt that we've had the team of creators to make that come to life, and with the support from the community, the support from the different sports organizations, we've been able to accomplish that so far, and you know, we're looking to continue to build on that vision.
What was the hardest part about building this community?
I think the toughest part about building any community is just the day in and day out work behind the scenes. It's a lot more than just creating a video and posting it, or putting an event together and hosting it. There's you know, a method to the madness, right? There's a lot of planning, a lot of organization, and those are things that, you know, we learn more and more about every day here at Clutch, and the more that we get to know the different sports communities around the island, the better prepared we are to serve them.
What do you think your key to success is?
Our success so far has been our teamwork, bringing a group of people together to share a common goal, and not being afraid to go out and try new things as a team, I think has served us well so far.
Why do you do it, and how has Clutch opened more doors for athletes?
Sports has the ability to transform lives and impact our community in a positive way, and for us to be able to be a part of that is what keeps us motivated every single day.
How does Clutch play part in the sports you play?
Clutch has provided a platform to the athletes on Guam by giving exposure to the different teams, leagues, and highlighting individuals. It brings motivation to a lot of the athletes hoping to showcase their talents through their brand.
Half a day, I'm Jada Adavibar, and I'm here with beach volleyball athletes Ella Wigston and Shiori Fujisaki. So Clutch has brought a lot of exposure to high school sports, and I know for my team and teammates that we always get excited to go watch the edits when we get home after a big game, and so they always motivate me to play my best. What about you, Shihori?
Clutch brings the sports community together, so I think it's a great opportunity for all of us athletes.
All right, thank you guys so much. Good luck on the rest of your season.
What a great way to rise up from situations that we think could hold us back, but instead turn an idea into a reality.
We wish Clutch Guam and its vision all the success. Again, we are Kiara Diego
and Jada Adavibar,
and we're signing off as your KUAM Spark Ambassadors.
Charter Day is coming. UOG has been around for 56 years, providing high quality upper education. And on March 7th, that's a Thursday, at the UOG Center Courtyard, we are going to celebrate 56 years of UOG. Triton, stand up. And if you're not a Triton, you are more than welcome to come see what programs we have. Make sure you can come celebrate with us over at UOG. All right, all high school students, listen up. This one's for you here on News Bites. The Micronesia Challenge is holding an endangered species art contest. You can win cash prizes. All you got to do is submit your artwork to micronesiachallenge.guam@gmail.com, and you can request a registration form. And the Friends of Business Summit, the Cybertech Edition, is happening up in the CNMI. It happens on April 4th. Please make sure to check it out and get up to speed on the latest cutting-edge technology. That's what's happening on News Bites on this Monday.
And it's birthday wishes time.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
All right, everybody, Monday, the 4th of March. Happy birthday to Bertha Virai Jovelanos. Happy birthday, Auntie Bert. Love your family. Mona Perez is celebrating a birthday today, so Auntie Mona, your familia, is saying we hope you have a absolutely beautiful and wonderful day. And Romel Samala, happy birthday to our favorite guy. You're only getting younger every day. We love you. From Mom, Denzel, and Darby, a member of our family. So, Mr. Romel, we hope your extended family here at KUAM, we wish you blessings and birthday wishes today and every day of the year. For all of our birthday celebrants today on the 4th of March.
Happy birthday, Mr. Darby.
Happy
Darby's
birthday, Darbiana's dad.
Well, Estigi Izon Mizu primetime show si Zeus Maasi put in a nega Guahu Scenic Delgado.
Zagwahusi Destiny Cruz Nafan Safu Hamzu Zagosa Iponi.